Imagine you are in a crowded room. There is laughter, glasses clinking, and loud arguments. Amidst this chaos, there is one person sitting perfectly still. They aren't checking their phone. They aren't darting their eyes around anxiously. They aren't trying to force their way into a conversation. They are simply observing. Why are your eyes drawn to them? Why? Subconsciously. Do you feel they are the most dangerous or the most interesting person in the room? We live in an era that worships noise. Society tells you, to succeed, you must be an extrovert. You must sell yourself. You must shout to be heard. But that is a lie. The truth is, the person speaking the most often holds the least power. A lion doesn't bark before it strikes. The ocean doesn't roar in its deepest depths. True power is never loud. In this video, Psychovive takes you deep into the psychology of silence. This isn't the silence of shyness or fear. This is calculated silence, a heavy psychological weapon that allows you to control negotiations, manipulate perception, and increase your attractiveness tenfold. If you are an introvert, or simply want to possess a hidden power without wasting a single breath, this video is for you. Turn off your notifications. Put on your headphones. Let's begin. Part 1. The mechanism. Why do we fear the silence? Before you can wield this weapon, you must understand how it works. Why does silence make people so incredibly uncomfortable? According to behavioral psychology, the human brain is wired for social connection. Speech is that connection. When a silence in a conversation lasts longer than for seconds, the other person's brain hits a red alert. The amygdala, the part of the brain that processes fear, fires a signal. Something is wrong. Am I being rejected? Did I say something stupid? Why aren't they responding? Silence creates an information void, and human instinct absolutely hates uncertainty. Here is the key. The person who cannot handle the silence is the weaker one. Most people, when faced with a pause, will panic. They start babbling nonsense just to fill the void. They reveal secrets, they lower their prices, they laugh nervously, and they lose their status. But you, a student of Psychovive, will do the opposite. You will create that void. You turn their discomfort into your advantage. When you remain silent, you force others to reveal their true nature. You become a mirror reflecting their own anxiety. And that is the first step to power. Part 2. The art of negotiation, the pregnant pause. Let's talk about the most practical application of silence, negotiation, and conflict. In business and politics, there is a technique called the pregnant pause. It is that heavy, tension-filled wait after a statement is made. Imagine this scenario. Your boss offers you a salary lower than what you deserve. The average reaction, you immediately object and over-explain. But I've worked so hard. I don't think this is fair. The result, you are on the defensive. You are begging. Now, try the silent method. The boss states the low number. You look them straight in the eye. Keep your face emotionless, a total poker face, and you stay silent for 3 to 5 seconds. In those 5 seconds, what happens in their head? Your silence sends a massive signal. This offer is so bad it doesn't even dignify a response. Psychological pressure crushes them. They begin to doubt their own number. Usually, they will break the silence themselves by conceding, "You age." Of course, that's just the starting base. We can look at bonuses. See that? You didn't say a word, but you won. The golden rule in a negotiation. Whoever speaks first after the pause loses. Develop the habit of counting 1 to 3 in your head after someone finishes speaking before you reply. This slowness shows you are in control, you are thoughtful, and your words carry 1,000 times more weight than those who just chatter. Part 3. The mystery of the Sigma appeal. Let's shift to social dynamics and attraction. Why are cold, quiet characters in movies or real life often called Sigma males or femme fatales so magnetically attractive? It's the Zeigarnik Effect. The Zeigarnik Effect states that humans remember uncompleted tasks better than completed ones. When someone talks too much about themselves, they are an open book. There is nothing left to explore. The brain marks them as completed and throws them into the trash bin of memory. But when you are silent, when you reveal only just enough, you become an unsolved puzzle. Silence creates space for imagination. When you don't say who you are, people begin to project their ideal fantasies onto you. They ask themselves, what is he thinking? Does she like me? What lies behind the calm exterior? The more time they spend thinking about you, the more emotionally invested they become. That is the law of investment. Learn to become a ghost in the noisy crowd. Don't brag about your plans. Let the results speak. Don't complain about hardships. Silent endurance creates the aura of a leader. Don't explain yourself. Let them wonder. Scarcity creates value. The less you speak, the higher the value of every word you do speak. Do not inflate your own currency. Part 4. Psychological defense. The shield against manipulators is not just a sword to attack. It is the strongest shield to protect you. In life, you will meet manipulators, narcissists, and verbal bullies. Their tactic is provocation. They want you angry. They want you arguing. They want you emotional. They feed their ego with your reaction. This is called narcissistic supply. If you argue back, you are playing their game on their turf. But if you stay silent, you cut off their food supply. Your silence in the face of someone screaming is the ultimate insult. It says, your emotions have no impact on me. Nothing makes a bully crazier than being ignored. Use the dead stare. When someone tries to insult you or ask an intrusive question, look them in the eye and say nothing. Or simply ask, why would you ask such a rude question? And then go silent again. You will watch them stumble, retreat, and feel the shame. Silence allows you to hold your boundaries without raising your voice or acting aggressive. This is the pinnacle of emotional control, the demeanor of a stoic master. Part 5. How to practice dangerous silence. Theory is useless without action. How do you, someone perhaps used to people-pleasing, start applying this? Here are 3 exercises from Psychovive to train your silence muscle. Exercise 1. The 3-second rule. In every conversation tomorrow, before answering any question, pause for exactly 3 seconds. Inhale, look at them, then speak. You will find yourself speaking more fluently, using fewer filler words like ah, and the listener will be much more focused. Exercise 2. Opinion hoarding. In your next meeting or gathering, set a goal to speak the least. Speak only when it creates value. Listen. Observe body language. When you finally speak, summarize everyone's points and give the decision. That is how a leader acts. Exercise 3. Eye contact over words. Instead of saying thank you, give a slight nod and smile with your eyes. Instead of saying I disagree, hold a serious gaze without showing emotion. Train your face and eyes to transmit the message. Body language is 55% of communication. Words are only 7%. Optimize at 55%. Part 6. Conclusion and final advice. Theory is an old saying. Still waters run deep. Silence is not emptiness. It is full of answers. It is the space where wisdom grows, where power is consolidated, and where mystery reigns. In a world where everyone is screaming to prove they exist, choosing to be silent, to observe, and to act strategically is the ultimate act of rebellion. It separates you from the mediocre herd. It transforms you from naive prey into a master hunter in the social jungle. Don't be afraid of being judged as quiet or hard to approach. Remember, people only tease the dog that barks endlessly. No one dares to play with a tiger watching quietly from the grass. Use silence to hear more than others speak. Use silence to hide your grandest plans. And use silence to make the world beg to hear your voice. Are you ready to master your mind and become a sharper version of yourself? If this content touched the shadow and the ambition within you, do not keep it to yourself. Hit the like button to help the algorithm push this video to others on the same frequency. And most importantly, subscribe to Psychovive and turn on notifications. Here, we do not speak in cliches. We dissect human psychology to hand you the keys to power. Don't miss the next video, because knowledge is the only weapon no one can take from you. I am Psychovive. Goodbye, and see you in the silence.